Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sister Wives Season 19 Tell-All Part 1. Mary and Janelle respond, Kody protects Robyn, and Christine expresses remorse. Part 1 of the Sister Wives Season 19 Tell-All featured heartfelt disclosures and daring confessions from the cast as the Brown family continues to juggle life following several divorces. The stars Christine Brown, Kody Brown, Mary Brown, and Janelle Brown discussed the dissolution of their multiple families and their current situation in the May 25, 2025 special, which was hosted by Sukanya Suki Krishnan. It's embarrassing, Christine Brown says of her devotion to Kody. In an open conversation with Suki, Christine Brown revealed how much she valued Kody during their marriage. In a video clip posted on TLC's Instagram, Christine remarked, "It's such a weird and embarrassing thing to admit. However, Kody's needs, wants, and the needs and desires of the family consumed my life. It's likely that I obsessively watched that man." Christine clarified that she spent her entire day getting ready for Kody's arrival, even when he wasn't there. So, even when he wasn't present, I would be thinking, we're going to do this, and this whenever he gets here. Because he did more than simply enter my life. He did not just follow our instructions. To make room for him, we had to alter our course. That is unacceptable. That is unfair. That is why he is the center of our lives. It was frustrating to me and embarrassing that I lived it, she acknowledged in closing. Kody Brown claims that because of their love, he and Robyn have been bitch-slapped. When questioned about the long-standing claims of partiality toward Robyn Brown, his fourth wife, Kody Brown had a forceful response during his own sit-down. Kody shouted back, "Try that," when Suki pointed out that he was supposed to love everybody equally. Every one of your children has a different bond with you. Every friend you have has a different relationship with you. Some people have various hobbies, different types of fulfillment, and so forth. You discover greater love, and then you're slapped with it by everyone? I'll tell you what," he added. "My relationship with Robyn has a heavenly element, and we have been bitch-slapped for it. I want to make peace in this relationship, and I love this woman, but I'm so weary of being blamed for liking Robyn that I'm going around stealing things." Janelle and Mary address Kody's allegation of divine love. Kody's assertion that he wanted to raise each of his wives to the same degree of love he has with Robyn was immediately questioned by Janelle Brown. In a TLC Instagram video, she stated, "It would have been nice if he had communicated that back then." Perhaps that is also revisionist history. In retrospect, he says, "Well, I tried. They just didn't want to come along, even though I wanted to." He never talked about that, Janelle continued. "He never seemed to be trying to uplift me." In her own interview, Mary Brown shared Janelle's doubts. Mary remarked, "I don't think that's fair for him to even say. Because everyone is meant to be Robyn? I'm Mary, and I apologize. I will not be like Robyn. Robyn is not someone I want to be. I will be my own unique individual. I'd rather not be her. Only if he accepts Mary, and he didn't accept Mary," Mary said in response to the question of whether their love could have been equal but different. "For the last 12 or 14 years, or possibly more, he didn't. What will happen to the Browns next?" Part 1 of the Sister Wives Tell-All offered an unvarnished look at the emotional aftermath, as Kody and Robyn were still together, and the other 3 marriages were formally over. At 10 p.m. Eastern Time, TLC and Max will resume airing the full Tell-All special. Tell-All, the 19th season of Sister Wives, is an emotional roller coaster. Kody and all of his ex-wives will discuss their opinions in public for the first time since their numerous divorces. The cast members made an emotional confession in Part 1 of the presentation, and this time, they are all sharing their stories from the bottom of their hearts. The original 3 wives are not reserving their criticism of Robyn and Kody. Kody, on the other hand, is making every effort to defend Robyn, his favorite wife. Kody, Mary, Janelle, and Christine had a special one-on-one meeting with Sukanya Krishnan on May 25th. They all shared their thoughts on plural marriage and their current situation. In addition, Christine publicly acknowledged that she wished she had done things differently and that she regretted her 25-year marriage to Kody. Is Kody refusing to get married again in order to please Robyn? Although Kody has always supported polygamy, he and Robyn are currently monogamous. He described how polygamy felt like a kick in the face. Because he doesn't want the hassle, the questions, or the effort, he has decided not to be married again. Many fans believe Robyn will struggle with attention, which is why he doesn't want to take on another wife. Robyn, as we all know, hates being ignored, thus having a new wife would have a significant impact on her. Therefore, in order to make Robyn happy, he might not get married again. In every circumstance, he makes every effort to please Robyn. Sister Wives, an overview of Suki Krishnan's tell-all in Season 19. The first tell-all episode of Sister Wives Season 19, hosted by Suki Krishnan, was a whirlwind of emotions. Christine Brown openly expressed her misgivings about putting Kody first during their marriage during the one-on-one session. She is ashamed to acknowledge that she centered her life on meeting his demands and the expectations of her family. Her obsession with him took precedence over her own desires. She made an effort to accommodate Kody and organize her life in his way. They had to make specific plans for him because he didn't follow their lead or do what they did. She now understands that those things were unfair to both her and other people. However, Kody revealed that Robyn was the woman he loved the most out of all his marriages. His ex-wives bitch-slapped him for finding a higher love, and they both did. Kody tried to have a similar relationship with all of his wives, but it never worked out. Robyn and Kody seem to have a divine bond. Since no one can love everyone equally, he has been made to feel bad for loving Robyn, which is unfair. Janelle clarified that Kody had never spoken to them about higher love at the time when they were talking about it. That's revisionist history, too, she continued. Mary underlined that not everyone should aspire to be like Robyn because everyone is different. Mary should be loved by Robyn for who she is, not for trying to be like him. To others, that is unfair. Kody's ex-wives were not in the mood to spare him, no matter how much he attempted to justify his love for Robyn. Throughout the Garrison killing plot, Kody Brown, star of Sister Wives, has been the target of numerous criticisms. He was criticized by several fans for wanting to memorialize Garrison now that he is no longer with him and for making everything about himself. After his kid passed away, Kody experienced several emotional breakdowns. However, some fans appear to feel sorry for Kody. To find out why, continue reading. Sister Wives. When Garrison dies, Kody Brown receives criticism. The Brown family reunited in Wyoming for Garrison's last resting place in the most recent episode of Season 19. However, Kody came under fire after it appeared like he and Robyn were on a little family vacation in Wyoming. When Kody took his family outdoors, some Sister Wives viewers saw that it appeared he had left Garrison's ashes in their car. Many viewers were upset when Kody simply discussed his signs from the trip, in addition to remembering his time with Garrison. Do fans at last feel sorry for Kody? On social media, some fans talked about Sister Wives Season 19's last episode. The poster claims that Kody's separation from Janelle, Mary, and Christine left him feeling totally alone in his sorrow, which also had an impact on his relationships with his other children. In any case, the OP expressed sadness and added that since everyone lost a loved one, it is not a question of whether he deserves it. The poster went on to say that although it was challenging to see Kody make an effort to remember some of the things he and Garrison had in common, it is indisputable that he was unable to remember the moments he spent with him. It hurts me that he keeps making these decisions. At the graveside, Logan literally had his hand outstretched, and he blows him off. He refused to accept Logan's offer because he was too macho. It appears that he will maintain that bond with his surviving children. Kody's fantasy about his contribution to Garrison's service would have been tarnished if he had accepted an assist from Logan or even acknowledged his presence. Since Kody has never experienced love, he is unable to accept it. He is a depressed, pitiful, and heartbroken man. This episode simply demonstrated that he doesn't see the whole picture of what he has done and how, with enough effort, he may turn it around while there is still time to do so. It's not like everyone has abandoned him yet. I think he is aware that they are blaming him at this time. Everyone was aware of it. It was obviously conveying a similar message even when his brother was speaking. Even if what we can see on the screen is terrible, I can only image what went on behind the scenes. It's most likely a mess. Sister Wives, did Kody Brown miss Garrison's funeral? At Garrison's memorial service, a source previously came forward with startling allegations. The insider claims that Janelle's family instructed Kody not to attend the funeral and that they did not want to record it. Nevertheless, Kody showed up anyhow, which made the service tense. The fact that the Sister Wives actress showed up with Robyn and a film crew, in spite of everything Janelle's family had said, only made the situation worse. A number of pictures of Kody that showed him sitting next to Robyn rather than his grieving wife and children also came to light. In any case, it can also be another sign that Kody was excluded from the funeral while he was grieving. The lights dimmed and the cameras rolled as part 1 of the Sister Wives season 19 tell-all began, promising bombshells, confrontations, and the kind of raw emotional chaos that only the Brown family could deliver. And within minutes, it lived up to every ounce of its dramatic potential. Seated on the familiar stage with host Sukanya Krishnan at the center of it all, Christine Brown's eyes welled with unshed tears as she finally addressed what fans had been speculating for months, her deepest regret after leaving Kody. "I thought walking away would heal everything," she admitted, her voice cracking, "but there are nights when I wonder if I gave up too soon, not on Kody, but on the dream. On what we were supposed to be as a family." Her confession sent shockwaves through the audience and the cast alike, especially as Kody, arms folded, lips pursed, sitting beside Robyn, who refused to make eye contact with anyone, let out a bitter laugh, shaking his head in disbelief. "Of course she regrets it now," he snapped, his voice heavy with resentment. "But when I was begging her to stay, when I told her I still cared, she acted like I was the enemy. All I ever did was try to keep this family together. But somehow, everything I did was wrong if it wasn't for Christine." But Christine didn't back down. "You didn't try to keep the family together," she shot back. "You tried to keep Robyn happy. And that was never going to be enough for the rest of us." The tension escalated as Meri and Janelle entered the spotlight, both women no longer hiding their disdain for Kody's revisionist narrative. Meri, who had sat quietly for most of the segment, finally spoke, and when she did, it was with a fury that shocked even the crew. "You expected us to erase ourselves," she said, her voice low and steady. "You wanted 4 wives, but only if they turned into clones of Robyn. Quiet, obedient, desperate for your attention. But I'm not Robyn. And thank God for that." The crowd gasped as Robyn's face twisted into a look of wounded disbelief, whispering to Kody, "Are they really blaming me again?" But Janelle wasn't finished. "This isn't about Robyn being a villain," she said. "It's about you, Kody, making every decision as if she's your only wife. She didn't tear the family apart. You did, by choosing favorites and refusing to admit it." Kody, clearly seething, leaned forward in his seat. "I'm sick of being demonized for loving Robyn," he said. "I didn't ask the rest of you to leave. You made that choice. Don't come back, now acting like victims when you walked away from the covenant. I want peace. But peace doesn't come with blame and finger-pointing." At that, Christine let out a sharp exhale. "Peace? You want peace after setting the whole house on fire and walking away? That's not peace, Kody. That's cowardice. You loved Robyn more than the rest of us, and instead of owning it, you let the family rot from the inside out." As the tell-all dug deeper into the emotional wreckage, Sukanya brought up the infamous Coyote Pass land, asking whether the recent redistributions were symbolic of Kody's deeper priorities. Janelle rolled her eyes. "Symbolic? Try strategic. He redrew those lines as punishment because I left. Because Christine left. Because Meri dared to think for herself. And he thinks we don't notice that everything, every scrap of that land, is designed to center Robyn's future, not the family's." Kody interjected, calling the accusations outrageous, but even Robyn seemed shaken, wringing her hands as Sukanya asked if she ever pushed Kody to rebuild only with her. "No," she whispered. "I wanted to be part of a big family. I never wanted it like this." But Christine wasn't buying it. "You cried about the family falling apart, but you let him treat us like we were disposable. You didn't fight for us. You just sat there while he pushed us out one by one." As the segment ended, a preview for part 2 promised even more fireworks, including a sit-down with all the Brown children, who have their own stories to tell about favoritism, silence, and abandonment. But as part 1 closed, the camera panned across the 4 women who once shared one man, one house, one dream, now separated by silence, tears, and years of built-up hurt. Mary, no longer willing to chase love. Janelle, finally standing tall after years of quiet endurance. Christine, fiercely independent but quietly wondering what might have been. And Robyn, surrounded by everything she thought she wanted, but with no family left to share it with. And at the center of it all, Kody, still defensive, still deflecting, and still unable to admit the truth that everyone else has accepted. His choices shattered the sisterhood, and no amount of blame shifting will ever piece it back together. The first part of Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all exploded onto screens with a level of tension that even the most seasoned Brown family fans weren't prepared for, because from the very first question Sukanya Krishnan asked, it became crystal clear that this wasn't going to be a peaceful reunion but rather a battle zone, with Kody Brown drawing a line in the sand to protect Robyn while Mary and Janelle, now totally unleashed, came prepared to hit back harder than ever before. The moment Sukanya mentioned the word favoritism, the temperature in the room shifted. Robyn sat stone-faced, clutching her tissues while Kody visibly bristled, his posture going from relaxed to rigid in a heartbeat. "This is what I'm tired of," Kody snapped, voice rising with exasperation. Every tell-all turns into a Robyn bashing session. "I'm sick of defending my relationship with my wife. She's been nothing but kind, loyal, and committed to this family, while everyone else jumped ship. If that makes her the bad guy, then maybe you should look at yourselves instead of pointing fingers." It was a fiery start to an episode that would quickly unravel into one of the most combative hours of Brown family television ever aired, because Mary and Janelle were not here to protect Kody's feelings. They were here to speak their truths, raw and unfiltered. Mary, who sat stone-faced for the first few minutes, finally broke her silence with a biting remark that echoed like a thunderclap through the studio. "You didn't defend Robyn, Kody. You sacrificed everyone else for Robyn." Her words hung heavy in the air. The audience, watching from home and online, instantly lit up social media with reactions. And Janelle wasn't far behind with her own brutal commentary. "You weren't defending your marriage to Robyn," she said, locking eyes with Kody. "You were weaponizing it. You built walls around her and used them to shut us out. For years." The gloves were off. What followed was a fiery back and forth in which Kody desperately tried to control the narrative, bringing up examples from years prior. Broken promises, family disputes, miscommunications, all in an attempt to prove that his so-called favoritism was misunderstood, misinterpreted, mischaracterized. But every word he said only seemed to dig him deeper. "I never asked any of you to leave," he insisted. "I begged you to stay. But every time I looked for unity, it was Robyn who stepped up. It was Robyn who tried to make things work." He looked to Sukanya for backup, but the host only nodded for him to continue. She wasn't here to rescue anyone, and she knew Kody was digging his own grave. Meanwhile, Robyn, visibly trembling and tearful, finally interjected. "I've tried so hard to be there for everyone," she said. "I've cried myself to sleep wondering what more I could have done. I wanted a family. I wanted sister wives. But I've been treated like an outsider since the day I got here." But Mary wasn't buying it. "You can cry all you want," she said bluntly, "but the truth is you were an outsider. And instead of finding a way to blend in, you and Kody isolated yourselves in that house and waited for the rest of us to disappear. And then you pretended to be shocked when we finally did." Sukanya asked the group if there was ever a time when the dynamic could have been saved, and Janelle's response was telling. "Maybe once," she admitted. "But the minute Kody stopped being our shared husband and started being Robyn's personal spouse, the rest of us knew. Deep down, it was over." The conversation then veered into the topic of communication breakdowns and broken covenants, with Kody trying to frame the collapse of the family as a slow deterioration of shared values. But the women were unified in their rebuttals. "No," Mary said flatly. "It wasn't slow. It was deliberate. You pulled back. You prioritized one wife. And you let your relationships with the rest of us wither away because you were too focused on playing house with Robyn. Janelle added, we begged for attention. We asked for family meetings. We asked for clarity about the land, about the holidays, about the future. But everything was filtered through Robyn. Every decision, every conversation. It was like we were just extras in your marriage with her. At this point, even Robyn couldn't deny the isolation, though she insisted it wasn't intentional.